There's something really dodgy going on, because the newspapers don't tell you the real information and they give misinformation, and everything appears and comes up when it seems to be too late. Or Bernard McGuinn's doing that petition, save Castle Hill, and then the council will say, no, we've already made a decision, we're not going to hear it, or whatever. And then they say, no, it's running out of steam in the newspaper, when it's just started picking up again. Bernard's petition, right? They're informing you when it's too late, when it's almost like you can't do anything, because by the time they tell you, you should have done that before. Now, Andrew Cooper, right, a councillor, now this petition was not showing in the results for Castle Hill in change.org, because I have been searching for Castle Hill petitions and looking for them, right, and working on gathering information, right. So the internet, Google, or someone has blocked it, right? We're talking about government level of an opposing camp are trying to obstruct us being successful. And now Andrew Cooper, the Green Party councillor, just when this now an Examiner story just appeared, and I don't know how it flashed up on my screen. It flashed up at the bottom of the screen in a little box. Oh, now the newspaper just published today, right? Oh, actually, it was the 5th. It's the 6th today. It was yesterday, right? So the council and now have said to the newspaper that all this historic England business are now saying, they're not going to listen to Bernard's petition. Yet, now Andrew Cooper's petitioning Historic England. Why didn't they petition them in the first place? I've got my petitions addressed to all the authorities concerned. Because when you're going for a referendum locally, it can go over anything. Now, I've actually attended a meeting with Andrew Cooper, because he's Green Party, and it was a meeting to do with green movements. And Andrew Cooper is wanting to add green corridors and green areas to Huddersfield to recover some conservation back and green areas and environment, right? Which is exactly what I'm looking at wanting to do now with finding out that Warrior's Tomb Hill is the other hill fort in connection with Castle Hill, and the visual access to it was blocked off, which is just what the DLR Council are talking about in Ireland. The evidence attached to this petition in one of the updates in the DLR Council meeting is saying that we should have visual access to places. So what I'm suggesting in my petitions is literally what all the Green Party group were talking about in the meetings with Andrew Cooper for the Green Party. They were wanting to add green corridors and try and recover some green areas. So I don't know, what Kirklees Council are playing at. They've got that many different councillors meddling with it. Yet, Andrew Cooper doesn't seem to be in his petition acknowledging the surrounding area. He's concentrating on the Victoria Tower, which, I'm not the greatest fan of. Now, he started this 1 month ago and he's got 591 signatures, which is more than what Bernard got after that time. He only got about 200, right? Now, all the petitions over one matter, right? It doesn't really matter if they're addressed to Kirklees Council or Historic England, because when you've got a petition about one site, right, and that site is of an interest to either the whole country or people, right? Petitions that citizens, it's the fact that citizens of England are signing it. That's what matters. Petitions that are on the same subject under HM government, right? Because HM government, central government, it just allocates each area to who it concerns with matters anyway, or each department. If you write to the Prime Minister's office about Department of Transport, they'll say, they'll send it to the Department of Transport, right? So it doesn't matter which hm.gov place really you send it to or address it to, really, because they're actually supposed to refer to who it does concern. For example, if you actually, Kirklees Council really would have to refer the petitions about Castle Hill, because it's people's opinions about it and evidence submitted to Historic England, really. because if they're the next decision-making process, they need to be aware of all the matters raised concerning material that the council are aware of and know of, really. So all petitions are meant to be combining signatures, and there are now, I think there are about around 4,500 signatures. So we're getting up to nearly 1/3 of what is needed for the referendum. And it was only when that hospital petition that did get around 15,000 or whatever, that petition only got that because the newspapers and the entire press and even a bit of television were going foot to the floor promoting it, literally car stickers and shop window posters and everything, literally going full on with it for months. And that's the only reason they still only just got the 15,000 then, right? So when there's like Flockton Village, when there's the entire village, everyone in the village has got it in the window, everyone in the village is helping get signatures, right? They only got 8,000, right? So I think that on this matter, with 4,000 signatures between 4 petitions, I think that's quite good, really. And I could get a lot more signatures if I wasn't being obstructed by Nick Clegg and Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook filters and settings, which are stopping me. They're literally obstructing me from doing it. They're preventing me from doing it because they're saying it's spam. If you do if you ask over a certain amount of people a day, it's spam. And when they let you do it in the group and ask, they're putting all the filters and they're putting all post settings so people can't see it properly. Tag 50 people, you get 20 people signing. Ask them individually, they sign. Ask them in Messenger, they sign, right? Or there's a group of 50,000 people all in the same interest of ancient sites and, ridgeways and pathways of England, ancient heritage, right? Start asking people, they sign. So what you need to do is send notifications to them or ask them in Messenger. Yet Facebook is not allowing it. It says, you've breached community guidelines, it's spam. It can't be spam when, right, on the government website, it says, use Facebook, Twitter, or email to promote your petition. What is a petition and what is promoting it? Petition is a web page or a document that you sign to support something. What is the requirements of doing that? You must ask people, as many people as possible that you can. This is what the government are telling you to do under British law and regulations supported. This is a petition. It's an official document. We want you to ask, I'm directing and instructing you, if you want to succeed in this, ask as many people as possible, right, in the shortest amount of time to sign it, right, and share it, right? That's what your instructions are from the government, right? So that means the process and procedure of me asking someone, as many people as possible, to repeat the same message to as many people as possible is a legal requirement under the Petitions and Referendums Act and under the right to petition that the government are instructing me to do, right? So how can it be categorised as spam? It's not a business promotion. It's not a personal website promotion. I'm not trying to sell something. It's not for my own purposes, for my own leisure and recreation and social, right? It's a fundamental requirement in law, right? It cannot be classed as spam. If you drop a sweet wrapper on the floor, right? When you've got the sweet wrapper in your hand and you've bought it, you own it. When you drop the sweet wrapper on the floor, right? You've discarded it, right? But it can be thrown away and it can be recycled or it can be destroyed or you put it in a litter bin, right? If you drop it on the floor, it's litter and you could be fined, right? You've discarded it, right? But only because the litter is perishable and can be destroyed. And this is fundamental to understand in logic, principle and ideals, right? In the human mind of intuition. And it's how you interpret facts and circumstances and things, right? If you've got £10 in your pocket, it is the property of the government. You have got it in credit, right? If you drop £10, right, it's not perishable, recyclable, or discardable to be thrown away. Therefore, it cannot be destroyed, right? It cannot be thrown away. It's never litter. If you drop £10 on the floor, it's still credit. It's still in credit, right? And you have lost it, right? It's lost property. And if it's not accredited to you and returned to you on credit to you, £10 on the floor still is accredited to the government and is worth £10 and is actually a credit of the government, right? So if no one claims it, then it's still the government's property. It's not rubbish or litter because it's actually illegal to put it in a litter bin, because a litter bin means that it's going to be destroyed or recycled, which you can't do. So it's actually illegal to put it in a litter bin. It's always classified in law as lost property if it's money and has to be returned to the person who is accredited to it, right? It's not like a sweet wrapper, which when you put it in a bin, it can be destroyed and thrown away. And you need to understand that fundamentally, right? When you're asking someone to petition, it falls under protected law where you can't be fined or prosecuted for asking, right? Because it's not a crime to ask, and not also is it not a crime, you've got the right to ask. If there wasn't a right to ask, but if it wasn't illegal, it's never a crime to ask, but you just won't have the right to do it. When you've got the right to do it, it gives you the through way to do it without consequence, punishment, or penalty. That's the difference. So therefore, it's not rubbish or spam. It's not junk or trash. And in Facebook ads, even, they're now providing in Facebook ads a slider in Facebook ads. So when you slide the slider on in Facebook ads to say this is political or a petition in Facebook ads, right? You put your own disclaimer for your responsibility, right, and your own identity, and you are removed from under the Facebook policy which they govern and enforce, because they're not enforcing their policy on you anymore. Facebook aren't enforcing their rules and regulations on you anymore. They're saying, right, we're not going to be responsible for this because the right to petition, you're not subject to their policies, penalties, penalisations and regulations of Facebook. Because Facebook only enforce what they've got legal and right entitlement to do. When you put that slider on, they're saying, right, you've got to have your own disclaimer separate, right? We're not under Facebook policy anymore. Now, the only thing is when you're doing ads, though, they want you to pay them. They're, all right, we'll promote it for you now. We're not under our policy, you know, and we're not accepting liability for you. We don't have to enforce Facebook policy on you. But if you want to promote it to so many people, then you can pay us, right? Now, there is in law, right, you don't have the right or not have the right due to whether you're paying a third party or not. You don't pay a third party for that right and law to be in effect over your petition. The law applies because I am petitioning the government and it is a petition. The law does not apply or not apply depending on whether I am paying to promote it or not. And whether I'm paying Facebook or a third party, the law applies to the petition because it's a petition. And I'm asking people to sign it under the right. That's why the law applies. And the disclaimer to be applied. Paying or not paying someone to promote it, right, is irrelevant. Now, the problem is with Facebook, in Messenger, right, it comes down to the reason why they're limiting Messenger messages and tagging. They're not saying that you've swore. They're not saying that you broke the law. They're not saying that you did something wrong. They're claiming that because the number of messages you're sending, right? Simply a number of it, right? Or, you know, or because it's a duplicate message repeated, right? They're looking at these factors. Oh, it's the same identical message, right? So it must be spam. or you're just sending a high volume of messages, so it must be spam, right? Now, they're saying that, they're claiming that it's spam, right? Now, if you were trying to sell doorknobs or widgets, or if you were just, sending loads and loads of repeat messages to anyone, God knows what for, right? Fair enough. But we're talking about something that gives you the right to ask without penalty or fine, which means that it's not litter, it's not spam, it's not trash, right? That's what spam litter is, or junk mail through the letterbox. A referendum, I've got in front of me now on the table, I have got a postcard, a voting poll card from the local council, right? It's issued to me through our letterbox via the Referendums and Petitions Act. It's issued under the Act. The council have posted it through in connection with referendums and petitions, right? He's not spam through your letterbox. In fact, the council are required to post it to everyone's letterbox. It cannot be prosecuted. You cannot prosecute the council for putting that poll card through your letterbox. It cannot be spam. Doesn't matter whether you've paid someone to deliver it or whether you've walked around and delivered them yourself. It's irrelevant. That council cannot be prosecuted for posting that poll card through your letterbox. It's not spam, and it's the exact same repeated thing through every letterbox with a different name on it. It's the same typing and format. It's a duplicate card. It is repetition of the same message addressed to a different person. It's repetition, and in high volume numbers. High volume numbers for every person to who it concerns. That's every resident, right? It's not spam. It will never be spam, and you can't prosecute the council for delivering it, right? So on Messenger and all electronic communications, right, rights apply all across the world, the country, in America, in England. The right is not dependent on what party it is, what organisation or group it is. That right is the same. Now, if someone wants to charge you money for doing work, right? If a paperboy says, I'll deliver these for you if you pay me £5, he's doing some work for you, right? You ain't got the right to make him deliver them, but if you give him some money, he might help you, or he might volunteer to, right? Or you could do it yourself. Right? It doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Now, Messenger is there. You can use Messenger. It's provided by Facebook, and you can message people. I can message 10, 20 people. It's electronic mail, and it's sending, right? Now, if Facebook want to charge money for Messenger, normal Messenger, not Facebook ads, if they want to introduce a charge for it, they can introduce one. If not, not. That's up to them. But at the moment, they're delivering a reasonable amount of messages. But what they're saying is, they're claiming that if you send a duplicate messages or high volume, they're claiming that it must be spam. It has to be. It has to be spam. Commercial spam or just social spam. Yet, you cannot be prosecuted or classed as spam for under the Petitions and Referendums Act. You can't be. It's not spam. It's the same as that poll card through my letterbox. And when you send a messenger by electronic mail, it's mail. It's still mail, electronic mail or not, right? Now, they've provided the service. If they want to charge for the service for the start, they can. If they don't. But they're claiming that the reason for capping the message is not because they're going to charge for more or less in Messenger, because they don't have a charge. Their only claim is that it is spam. That's what Nick Clegg and Mark Zuckerberg are saying, which is false. In law, it's not spam, and it can't be spam. So they're failing to or refusing to recognise. Nick Clegg and Mark Zuckerberg are refusing to recognise or even look at and accept and acknowledge the legal fact and truth that those petition requests through Messenger to who it may concern in that petition, which if it's a petition about heritage or a natural site, it concerns people who are interested in heritage or natural sites, which means all the members of a Facebook group who are interested in heritage or national sites, that's who it interests. Who does this Petition and Referendums Act interest in this election from the council? Me, because I'm voting. Because I'm electing a councillor, right? That's who it concerns. Who would an ancient site concern if you want to save it? People who are interested in ancient sites. Right, I'm in the right group then, on Facebook, right? I have the right to use that messenger, and what the right is the right that your mail, your message will be recognised, read, and classified by the provider and checked. You've got the right for that provider, Facebook, to recognise and apply the law that governs those classification of messages, right? And the purpose and function and existence on the HM government website, not even just under the law, under the Petitions and Referendums Act and right to petition, right? They're even instructing on the White House website, We the People in America, and on HM Petitions, it says underneath with the logo of Twitter, of Facebook, and of emails, it says, share your petition and ask people for signatures, right? To, I quote, as many people as you can get to sign, which is an instruction to send high volume of messages and a repetition of the same message to multiple people. I'm instructed by Her Majesty's government to send a duplicate message addressed to different people in high volume counts under the Petitions and Referendums Act of England, right? And under the right to petition using electronic mail, right? It's not spam. It will never be spam. And it's illegal to capture it or punish an account and restrict you from sending it from being identified as spam. It's not spam. It's not. And the obstruction is illegal. It's illegal for Facebook to apply the obstruction, which is, it brings in that in Facebook ads, with the slider, when you say I'm doing something political, I'm doing something petitioning related, they say, okay, then you put the slider on and you put your own disclaimer because it's not under the Facebook policy. Not because you're paying for the service, because it is identified as being political. Now, why are they not providing such a slider to identify the petition requests we're sending through Messenger normally, when it's the exact identical law that governs the type and nature and reason that it is a petition request link? And it has to be a duplicate one with different address to different people, because that's what it is, sending the same request and in high volume. That's what you're doing. Now, the lack of Facebook to facilitate for that in their policy is it's actually an unlawful obstruction, right? And they can't lawfully have that in their policy because they're going against, they're denying people's rights. And in many ways, that's what they're encouraging in Facebook groups. They're encouraging in Facebook groups people to, there are a lot of certain rights that we've got for free speech and things like that. And many, many people are getting those rights denied in Facebook groups. They're getting kicked out of Facebook groups. Oh, any posts that, we're in a coffee group, any posts that aren't about coffee will result in immediate banning from the group. You can't walk into a room, you can't walk into a coffee shop. You can't go into a coffee shop, right, in a village and then ask somebody, oh, excuse me, I'm lost. Do you know where the bank is, please? because I don't know where it is, or do you know if there's a taxi rank around here? If you walk into a cafe, right, and ask the lady politely, like I did the other day, oh, excuse me, can you tell me where the taxi rank is, right? She cannot say to you, right, in that cafe, right, she cannot say, right, you haven't ordered a coffee, so I am banning you from my shop now. Get out of my shop. You walked into my coffee shop and you asked me if I please would know where a taxi rank is, right? So you're banned from a coffee shop and booted them out. That is criminal. It is against rights. It is against free speech. And you get a lawyer, because the police probably wouldn't. Well, look, actually, the police should act, really. The police should act. That's what's happening in Facebook groups, essentially. And Mark Zuckerberg and Nick Clegg are supporting it and backing it up. And it's terrible. It's creating mini Hitlers. It's creating social... And this is how they're planning to control political groups, really, are hoping that this is going to take off. And people are going to... If anyone doesn't talk about anything they don't want them to talk about in their own little group, and so it's almost like Mark Zuckerberg having Facebook and saying, when you're in my office, when you're in Facebook headquarters, you don't talk about this and you don't talk about that, and we've all got this attitude, and we're all, it's all, but he's paying them to be there. They're going to work, right? When you're in my building and when you're working for me, you'll say what I say you'll say, and you will not have an attitude otherwise. That's what they're trying to do, and that is very, very, very serious and very bad. And that is why Russell Brand has got his entire channel. That is what the Russell Brand channel is doing now. He's opposing that whole line of thinking. And unfortunately, Boris Johnson and the Tories, that's what they're trying to do now, removing your right to even object to building projects that they're doing. They've got all the money to put advertisements on the internet because of massive profits that Balfour Beatty, just want to beat you all the time, Balfour Beatty and Care and all these companies have got massive profits. They're influencing everyone on these groups, using Facebook ads. They're not even saying who's advertising. They don't even care who's advertising anymore. They don't care. They don't even want you to click on the ad. They don't even want you to know who's advertising. They just want to put a picture on there, which is an image and picture that has a certain representation, and they're just paying to spread public consciousness. They just wanted to put an image up there. They get the image on your phone, and it's got a clever image that is pushing a certain idea on you, an ideology, and because of massive money they're making from all these profits, and it's political influence. And this is why there's a law saying that political parties, governments, the government and councils, it's illegal for them to publish influencer material. Even the council are publishing influencer material when they're doing projects now all around town. Massive advertising boards and whole buildings covered in pictures, and it's all influencer, because they want everyone to go along with it and support it. And even the sponsors, they've now even got collaborations. And if the council don't want to look like they're doing it directly, they make a new team. Then they make a new, partner. Oh, well, council aren't publishing it now, but the partners are publishing it. Huddersfield Town Football Club or Yorkshire Tiger Buses or Transdev Buses. So what the council do is, oh, you're our partners now. So we've got some nice adverts with some images which make people think this or that. And now the football team put it up or the bus company put it up. But all the partners with the council in partnership with Kirklees Council, that's influence. There's a law saying you can't do it, and now there's more and more advertising. They're trying to find these legal loopholes or little ways you can get it through, and it's becoming culture. But that culture it's not lawful, and this is what's happening. And what you can easily get enough signatures to actually get the vote. And you might say, well, people aren't signing. Most people aren't seeing it properly or looking at it properly. And then there's someone who's intervening. There's mysterious things happening, like you put a post on there, it disappears, it vanishes. I put a post on Facebook, it vanished, right? Where's it gone? I asked the admin, did you delete it? He said, no, I didn't, right? I asked the person who put the post and replied, did you delete that? He said, no, right? It had vanished mysteriously. And then you're getting into these clauses that the government are bringing in, that they can prioritise things in Facebook, or if the government thinks something is, terrorist, or even something that the government don't want you to do, apparently they've got the right, they're claiming that they've got the right to go on the internet and just remove it. But yet in the right to petition, you're protected from that because this is an official request to the government under law. And departments like that can't remove it when it's an official petition, right? We're getting mysterious intervention from other entities. That's what's happening as well. And this is why these Tories and other parties are wanting to encourage admins to block stuff. It's almost like they're wanting, it's almost like, really, the Tories would like, if the postman's going around delivering polling cards through the post, the Tories are trying to encourage the community to go around following the postman and pulling them back out of letterboxes as he's walking down the road. There's somebody behind him pulling the poll cards back out so people aren't voting, I won't put that past the Tories. It's essentially the same thing. Or they're saying, what happens if a person hasn't got a letterbox, and what about Bernard McGuinn? Bernard McGuinn's address is at the Conservative Club in Armonbury, right? It's not his home address. It's a Conservative Club in Armonbury. So all mail sent to Bernard McGuinn for political correspondence over his petition is sent to the Conservative Club in Armonbury, right? Yet, Mark Zuckerberg and Nick Clegg are wanting people who own clubs and groups to say, we can ban conversation or kick somebody out of a club. So you're telling me that if I want to deliver petitions, paper ones, to Bernard McGuinn at his registered address at the Conservative Club, the owner of the Conservative Club can say, well, I'm banning you, you're not allowed in, and I'm not allowing you to deliver it to this address. So the registered address of Bernard McGuinn to the Conservative Club in Armonbury, that's not his home address, it's a club, a group, right? And he's sent to deliver his petition notices there, right? You're telling me that the owner of the Conservative Club can say, right, you're banned, you're blocked, you can't deliver them here, when that's his registered address? That's effectively what Mark Zuckerberg and what Nick Clegg are wanting Facebook groups and admins now to do, the culture, right, in all their groups. Yet, it is the only one thing that you've got the legal right to do, and also the free speech clause. If you type into what are your fundamental rights, it pops up what they are. And half of those rights now are being encouraged. I got kicked out of a photography competition. I hadn't done anything wrong. I got thrown out of a group when I was entering a photography competition. I got discriminated against in that competition, right? And I phoned the police up and they're more interested. Yeah, it's on the fundamental rights list of one of the things that you can be discriminated against in a competition because of your interests in that competition. If you're putting photographs in the competition because you like in the Castle Hill group, because I like the hill a little bit more than the tower, but yeah, it's a Castle Hill group about the whole hill, right? And because I like the hill more than the tower, I got kicked out and my photos were in the competition. That is a discrimination, that, right? And it's on the list of things, but the police won't go and investigate or anything. So I'm bothered more about anything about Messenger, right? Currently in law, I've got the right to, and I'm required to repeat the same duplicate message in Messenger, and to as many people as possible. The two things which are a requirement and identify what a petition is. First, you identify that it is a petition and it's asking the government for something under that law, and it says petition on it and it's a link to a petition site, or you've drafted it up, right? That identifies what it is, and the nature of it is high volume and repetition of the same thing, except addressed to a different person, which you address it to a different person because it's their different messenger account, right? So Facebook has got no legal right to class it as spam. Now, that's the only reason that they're saying that they're putting a cap on you and punishing you with a community strike because of spam. And that they can't do. So unless they come up with a different reason, another reason, then they need to either start putting identifier software in to their platform, which can identify that it is a petition and therefore remove the spam, or you can apply to them to recognise it and set you for spam, or for a certain period lift the filters off you. Lift the spam filters, say, right, I'm going to be doing a petition for 1 week, please can you lift the spam filters, right? And like on Facebook ads, when you put the slider on to identify what it is, that's a solution, And as for, the Huddersfield Examiner, the council saying, oh, we're not going to look at it, or we can't look at it. Rubbish. It's not, that's just not true. Because the fact is that if you build a school, right, you've built a school and the council approve it, right? If you apply to build a school and you never build it and the planning permission runs out after 5 years and you never built it, then you've got to reapply. But when you've built the school, you've built the school, right? Now, why is it, right, that 10 years later or 5 years later or 7 years later, somebody might have a petition to say that they want that school changed or made into a community centre, or they want the council to buy it, or they want a compulsory purchase order on it, or they just want to get the wall changed, or anything about it, right? Whether the council have made a decision on something is irrelevant when you're petitioning. Decisions come under planning decisions, right? That's planning decision. And when you've got a certain amount of time to object, fair enough. That doesn't mean to say you can't petition about it at any other time. Because if you couldn't petition about something, right, a school or an hospital, right, how can you get a school changed? How can you get an hospital changed? On the premise that once the council have made a decision on something, it's final, right? How is it final? How are the council regenerating the town centre? How are the council doing up the George Hotel? Right, the George Hotel was built 20 years ago, 100 years ago, whatever. You can't change it. The council made a decision. It's fixed. Rubbish! Rubbish! That means the town centre is permanently fixed, as it was in 1857 or wherever it was. It can't be changed. How can it not be changed when they're changing it? So how can you not do another petition about Castle Hill? You can do another petition about Castle Hill. To the council, or to Historic England, or to whoever you want. Particularly if you're going to have a referendum and want anybody vote on it, but the council can decide on it if you want to do another petition. Because if they couldn't, then how are they changing the Queen's Gate Centre? How are they changing anything? And it's always private. Doesn't matter whether it's private or not. There are ways and means to make it unprivate. For example, make them sell it. Compulsory purchase order. And as the council are meant to be in charge of the site at Castle Hill anyway, it's always eligible to be petitioned about. It doesn't matter about the pubs on the hill. The council are in charge of the hill. So whatever happens on that hill, it doesn't matter what contracts they've got, who they sold it to or whatever. That's completely irrelevant, and it doesn't matter. The council are in charge of the hill, right? So that is the base of what it's been put on, right, is the be-all and end-all of what happens, right? It doesn't matter what authority it is. And if you couldn't petition about something that's already had a decision, then you won't be able to change anything in Huddersfield. Nothing. Think about it. How can you change something? Oh, there's been a decision made on it. Can't change it. Rubbish. Well, Huddersfield can put the town centre back as it was then, restore the old town centre, because it already had a decision made on it 50 years ago or 100 years ago. They're just coming up with lame excuses, the Examiner, time and time again. The worst, flimsiest stories that you could ever conceive of. And they won't even tell people about the referendum and say, oh, if everyone signs it, we can all vote on it. Just like we're doing with voting for councillors. When you can get, anyone would think that you can't have a referendum over Brexit because it's nothing to do with electing MPs or electing councillors. Well, Brexit's not electing new MPs or a referendum for a new party. It's about a decision on something. Oh, so you can do referendums on decisions about something? Well, yeah, obviously. The council don't want people to know about local referendums because they'd start winning and not doing what the councils want to do on certain things and what big company businesses want to do on certain things, which is making profits. And that is what it comes down to. But these businesses and Balfour Beatty and Care and these other companies are taking over. They're taking over the country and they're making that much of a killing that they're flooding social media with influencing adverts popping up everywhere. Building women with building hats. Pregnant, you might as well be pregnant women, banging out babies with building hats on, more women builders. It's not even saying who's advertising or promoting it. They just want the picture on there to try and get more people into allowing building. This is what Russell Brand's talking about on his channel now. We're being hijacked by massive financial bullies who have got they've stocked up all the money. They've taken over social media, right? And they want to run the country. And now they want to take away as right to vote even if we don't buy a passport or driving licence. Unless we pay another 75 quid to the government, which is less money that you've got to do campaigns like this, to put into change.org. And then, it's always too late because they didn't let you know about it till it was too late or whatever. You know, something needs to be done about it.